Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to explore a hopeful turning point. Alex is getting more aware after the accident, and even without his memories, he's starting to feel how important Tuna is to him. If you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next video. All right, let's begin. The clinic was quiet that morning, quiet enough that you could hear the sheets shift, hear the slow rhythm of breathing, hear the nurse's shoes down the hall. Alex was already awake when Tuna walked in, not the half-dream awake from earlier. This time his eyes held on to her. He followed her across the room like he was trying to stay anchored. "Hey," she said softly. "I'm here." He swallowed, then gave a small nod. No smile, no big reaction. But he understood her. Tuna poured warm water into the paper cup and brought it to his lips. Her hands were steady because she forced them to be. Inside, she felt worn thin. Too many nights waking for Henry. Too many hours beside Alex's bed, and every day still spent here watching him like her attention could keep him safe. She dropped Henry at Batang's place at sunrise. Even without the baby on her hip, her body still felt like it was carrying him. Alex's mother arrived a few minutes later, moving fast but trying to look calm. She kissed his forehead and looked into his eyes like she was searching for him. "Morning," she said. "How do you feel?" "Tired," Alex rasped. One word, rough and hoarse. His mother's face softened instantly. Tuna exhaled, almost silently. The nurse came in with a clipboard and a foam ball. She asked Alex the date, where he was, who was in the room. He didn't get everything right, but he tried to answer instead of drifting away. His focus wobbled sometimes, like his thoughts were walking on an unsteady bridge, yet he stayed with it. "Good," the nurse said. "Let's do a little more today, gentle, slow." They raised the bed so Alex could sit up. The movement pulled a tight breath from him. For a second, his eyes squeezed shut, and Tuna stepped closer on instinct. She hesitated because he still didn't truly know her. Then she felt his shoulder lean toward her anyway. A quiet choice. Tuna slid a hand behind his upper arm to steady him. Alex breathed through the discomfort and opened his eyes again. He stared at her hand like he was memorizing the feeling of it. The nurse placed the foam ball in his palm. Squeeze and release, 10 times. Alex stared at it like he hated how small it was. Then he started. His fingers trembled. The ball barely compressed at first. By the 6th squeeze, his jaw tightened and sweat appeared at his temple. Still, he kept going, stubborn and silent. Tuna watched his wrist, the shake, the strain. "Slow," she murmured once. "You're doing fine." His eyes flicked up at her voice. Not recognition, but something steadier, like her tone lowered the noise in his head. After that, the nurse handed him a pen and a sheet of paper. "Let's try writing. Just your name." Alex gripped the pen too hard. The tip hovered. His brow pulled together, and for a moment he looked angry, at the page, at himself, at the fact that something simple now felt far away. He made the first mark. It wobbled. He tried again, slower, and letters began to appear, crooked, uneven, but real. When he finished, he stared at the word like it belonged to someone else. His mother's eyes went wet. She blinked quickly and nodded. "That's good," she said. "That's really good." Tuna didn't cheer. She didn't want to overwhelm him. She simply brought the cup back to his lips. Alex drank a few sips. His fingers slid against her wrist, and instead of pulling away, he kept contact there. Light, careful. Lon arrived mid-morning, slipping into the room with a practical calm. She spoke with Alex's mother near the door. Quick updates, nothing urgent. Then she looked at Alex. "Hey," Lon said softly. "You're doing better." Alex stared at her for a long moment, His face tightened like he was digging through fog. "Lan," he said slowly. Lan's shoulders loosened. "Yeah," she replied. "It's me." No one pushed him further. Today wasn't about forcing answers. After Lan stepped back, Alex's mother took out her phone. "I brought photos," she said gently. "Only if you're okay." She showed him a picture of him with her. Alex stared at it, and something eased in his face. Comfort without explanation. Then a photo of him working, smiling with people, looking strong. He studied it like a life he could sense but couldn't fully reach. A quick, honest pride crossed his expression. Tuna's heart started beating too fast. She knew what photo would come next. Alex's mother scrolled and held up a picture of Alex and Tuna together. Sunlight on their faces, Tuna laughing, Alex looking at her like she was home. Alex's breath caught. He stared at the screen, then lifted his eyes to the real Tuna. Back to the photo, back to her again. His gaze moved like he was trying to force the fog to lift by sheer will. Tuna kept her hands clasped so no one would see them shake. Alex started, then stopped. His voice carried emotion he didn't seem to expect from himself. "I don't remember." His mother answered immediately, calm and firm. "That's okay. Don't push it." Alex stared again. Happiness rose in his face anyway, warm, undeniable. And then his expression tightened. He winced and brought a hand to his temple. A mild headache, sharp, sudden, then fading in waves. Tuna moved without thinking. She rested her hand lightly on his shoulder. Alex didn't flinch. If anything, his breathing steadied. The nurse checked him, asked about the pain. Alex answered clearly. The nurse wasn't alarmed. "That can happen," she said. "When you concentrate, we'll go slow." When the nurse stepped away, Alex looked back at Tuna. His confusion was still there, but so was something softer. "You look tired," he said quietly. Tuna tried to smile. "I'm okay." Alex shook his head a little, like that answer wasn't enough. His voice dropped. "You shouldn't be." The tenderness in his tone surprised even him. You could see it. His eyes searching her face, his brow tight with questions he couldn't name. Tuna swallowed hard. She wanted to tell him everything. Instead, she kept her voice gentle. "I'll rest," she promised. "I will." Alex looked down at the phone again, at the photo of them together. He stared at Tuna's face on the screen like he might pull a memory out of it. And nothing clear came. But the feeling didn't leave. He lifted his eyes to her once more. "When I look at you," he began, then paused, searching. "I feel something." Tuna's eyes burned. She blinked and stayed calm. "That's okay," she said. "You don't have to name it yet." Alex nodded slowly. The fog was still there, but he was awake. He was present. And for the first time in a long time, the room didn't feel like it was waiting for bad news. It felt like it was finally moving forward. By late morning, Alex wasn't slipping away anymore. He was tired, yes, and his voice still sounded scraped, but his eyes stayed with the room. When the nurse spoke, he listened. When his mother adjusted his pillow, he followed her hands. And when Tuna shifted in her chair, he noticed that too. The nurse kept it simple. "Small work today," she said. Gentle movements, short writing, lots of breaks. They raised the bed again so Alex could sit up. He breathed through the strain, jaw tight, then steadied. Tuna stayed close, one hand hovering near his elbow in case he tipped. Alex leaned slightly toward that support without thinking. Then looked at her like he was surprised he'd done it. "Foam ball," the nurse said, placing it in his palm. "Squeeze. Release." Alex did it, slow and stubborn. His hand trembled, but it worked. After a few minutes, the nurse switched to the pen and paper. "Write your name again," she said. This time, the letters were still crooked, but clearer. Alex stared at them, then at his mother, as if asking why something so small mattered so much. His mother smiled through wet eyes. "Because it's you," she whispered. The nurse nodded at the paper. Now, one easy sentence. Something true. Alex's gaze flicked to Tuna before he could stop it. He looked down and wrote, slowly, like each letter cost him energy. "I am here." He leaned back after finishing, breathing heavier than he wanted to admit. Tuna didn't cheer. She just softened her voice. "That's already a lot," she said. "Don't push too fast." Alex nodded, but his eyes stayed on her longer than necessary, like her words were holding him steady. Lon came by briefly, checked in with Alex's mother, then stepped back to give space. Nothing urgent, nothing for Alex to worry about. The room stayed focused on one thing, getting him through the next small step. Around noon, Tuna stood to rinse the cup by the sink. The moment she straightened, dizziness hit harder than before. Her vision narrowed for a second, and she gripped the counter until her legs trusted her again. She tried to hide it. She tried to make it look normal. But Alex saw the pause. "Hey," he said, sharper than his earlier voice. "Sit." Tuna froze, then forced a small smile. "I'm fine." Alex didn't accept it. He watched her like he was reading a problem he couldn't solve. "Sit," he repeated, quieter but firm. Tuna sat. Alex's mother looked at her properly, and her expression changed. "Tuna, have you been sleeping at all?" Tuna opened her mouth, then closed it. The truth was on her face. Lon exhaled softly. "She's been doing too much." Alex stared at Tuna, and something painful softened his eyes. He spoke slowly, like he was choosing each word. "I don't know who you are to me," he said. "Not in my head." Tuna's throat tightened, but she stayed calm. Alex kept going. "But when you look like you might fall over," he added, "I feel wrong, like I'm supposed to stop it." Tuna shook her head. "You didn't do anything." Alex frowned, frustrated with himself. "Then why does it feel like I should protect you?" The room went quiet. Tuna swallowed and kept her voice gentle. "You don't have to figure it out today. Just get better first." Alex held her gaze. "Promise you'll rest." Tuna hesitated, because resting felt impossible, but she nodded anyway. "I promise." His shoulders loosened, like the promise mattered. After a short break, Alex's mother brought out her phone again. "Only if you want," she said, letting Alex hold it this time. He scrolled slowly. A photo with his mother made him relax. A photo of him working made him look oddly proud, like he could feel the shape of his old life even if he couldn't remember the details. Then he stopped on a picture with Tuna. Sunlight, both of them smiling, Alex's arm around her like it belonged there. Alex stared at the screen for a long time. He looked up at the real Tuna. Back to the photo. Back to her again. His expression warmed, real happiness, then tightened in confusion. "You're important," he said quietly. Tuna blinked slowly. "Yeah, I can feel it," Alex continued, frowning. "But it's like there's a wall, like I'm looking through fog." Tuna nodded. "That's okay. Walls take time." For a second, the room felt lighter. Alex's mouth lifted in the smallest smile. Then the headache returned, mild, sharp, sudden. He winced and pressed his fingers to his temple. The nurse stepped in immediately. "Stop there. Close your eyes. Breathe." Alex did, irritated more than scared. He hated the limits. Tuna reached out carefully, resting her hand near his forearm, not forcing anything. Alex's fingers found hers on their own. He held on. When the pain eased, Alex opened his eyes and looked at their hands. His voice came out rough and honest. "I'm sorry." Tuna shook her head. "Don't be," he swallowed, "for making you tired." Tuna's eyes burned. "You didn't make me," she said softly. "I chose to be here." That sentence hit him like it mattered, even without memory. He stared at her as if trying to understand why it felt true in his chest. Later, the nurse asked him to speak a little longer, just a few clear words without losing his breath. Alex looked at his mother, then at Lan, then at Tuna. "Thank you," he said, slow and careful. "For staying." His mother squeezed his hand. Lan's smile flickered and she looked away. Tuna nodded because if she spoke, her voice would break. Alex watched her again, still too alert to miss the signs, her pale face, the way she kept swallowing a cough, the way she tried to sit tall when her body wanted to fold. "You're still not okay," he said. Tuna tried to deny it, but a dry cough slipped out instead. Alex's mother stood up, gentle but firm. "That's it, Tuna. You're going to drink something warm and you're going to close your eyes for 10 minutes. Tuna looked at Alex like she needed permission. Alex nodded. "Please." So she sat back with the warm cup, shoulders finally dropping. She closed her eyes and let herself breathe without apologizing for it. When she opened them again, Alex was still watching her. Not with memory, not with certainty, but with a quiet care that felt older than the accident. And even with the fog still there, the room felt different now. Because Alex wasn't just waking up. He was choosing her again and again without even knowing why.
Alex có những tiến bộ rõ rệt tại phòng khám, tỉnh táo lâu hơn, phản ứng tốt hơn và bắt đầu những bài tập phục hồi chức năng đơn giản và biết những từ cơ bản. Anh ấy trông bình tĩnh hơn khi Tuna ở gần, mặc dù anh ấy vẫn không thể nhớ cô ấy là ai. Tuna cố gắng tỏ ra ổn, nhưng sự mệt mỏi đã ập đến và Alex nhận ra những dấu hiệu đó trước bất kỳ ai khác. Họ cho Alex xem những bức ảnh về cuộc đời anh và anh cảm thấy hạnh phúc thực sự, đặc biệt là khi nhìn thấy những bức ảnh với Tuna, nhưng vị trí của cô ấy trong ký ức của anh vẫn còn mơ hồ. Một cơn đau đầu nhẹ ập đến khi một ký ức tốt đẹp gần như hiện lên, nhắc nhở mọi người rằng quá trình hồi phục không phải là một đường thẳng. Cuối cùng, Alex không thể giải thích được, nhưng rõ ràng anh ấy quan tâm đến Tuna và anh ấy yêu cầu cô nghỉ ngơi bởi vì điều đó cho anh ấy biết rằng cô ấy rất quan trọng.